Good deal. How's everybody doing? Yeah. I'm hard of hearing. I played the drums, so you need to scream louder than that. How's everybody doing? Yeah. Good. Who had a good Christmas? Yeah. Man, y'all had terrible Christmas. Christina, we had a better Christmas than they did. We didn't even get any gifts. Did you have a good New Year? Yeah. Good. Did you blow somebody up? Yeah. I got some parents looking at me like, oh man, what is he asking? Oh my gosh. Okay, for those of you who don't know me, Ben Jalmer, hope you guys are doing well. If you do not have an outline, please go back and get one. Nobody will judge you. Nobody will look at you weird or anything like that. If you do not have an outline, we'd love for you to have one. And we got pens back there. And if we're out of pens, then share with somebody or come up to me afterwards and get the fill in the blanks. Not a whole lot this week, so it shouldn't take you too long. And just really, really excited about the new semester, the new year. Who is glad that 2014 is over with? Over? Yeah? Yeah? Who loved 2014? Anybody lovers of 2014? You had a great year, like you're sad that okay, that's good, that's good. Okay, a little bit more excited about 2015, and we're excited, okay, about the peak and what the Lord has in store for you guys and for your friends and people that come through these glass doors in order to experience the love of Jesus. Okay, and so really excited about what the Lord's going to be doing. If you've been around here for long enough, you know that we love to celebrate the birth of you, and so when we have birthdays and those kind of things each week, we love to sing happy birthdays. So for those of you who can sing, you have to sing extra loud because people like me won't sing very loud because that's not a very happy birthday. That's a bad birthday, sad birthday, okay? So there's only one person that I have on the list from the last time we did birthdays until next week, okay? One person on my list, okay? And it's my good friend, Bryce Nivens. Y'all give it up for Bryce Nivens. Get up, Bryce. Stand up, Bryce. Stand up. All right, so is there anybody else that has a birthday between like the first, like January 1 until next Wednesday? Stand up. Stand up now. Go. Stand up. Yeah? Okay, Caitlin, when is your birthday? The 2nd? And yours is the 1st, right? The 8th. Okay, so yours was the 2nd, okay? And yours is the 8th, right? Okay, sorry. Okay, all right, good. Anybody else? No, stand up. Stay standing. Stay standing. Don't sit down. Don't sit down. Anybody else? Come on. Don't lie. Don't lie. Okay, you ready? All right, here we go. We're going to sing. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Come on, they don't feel special. Happy birthday to you. Good harmony. Happy birthday, dear Bryce and Caitlin. Okay, happy birthday to... All right, give them a round of applause. Yeah. They took the torture. Okay, y'all can come sit down too. Come on. Now, y'all go. Come on. You already called out. Come on. All right. Adults, if you see any students back there, please get them up here. Adults, I'd love to have you guys up here as well. And again, New year, okay, resolutions. Okay, first of all, before I forget, because I always seem to forget this, okay, if you're not able to make a peak, or you forget, or something comes up, and you're not able to make it to the peak, we have all of our messages online, okay. Raise your hand if you've ever been on YouTube. YouTube. That should be everybody in this room. It's like, what's YouTube? We have a peak page on the YouTube. Okay, on YouTube we have a YouTube page. Okay, that you can go on and watch the messages and those kind of things. Okay, not many of you guys knew that. Okay, so if you ever miss, okay, and want to kind of keep up with what's going on and all that kind of good stuff, we upload our messages to that each and every week. And I've always failed to tell you guys that, okay? So resolutions, okay? Resolutions are here. Raise your hand if you really, like for 2015, like you really made a legit resolution. Anybody legit resolution? People, okay? Okay? Raise your hand. For some of you, this is what, you can put your hands down. For some people, they do the whole word of the year. They don't do resolutions, but they have like a word they're going to kind of focus on. Does anybody have like the word, like a word for the year? Okay? All right? So a couple people, okay? Who doesn't care anything about next year and doesn't have any word or any resolution? Raise your hand. Yeah, that's kind of me too. Yeah, don't really have a resolution, okay? But this year, okay, obviously we want to, if we were to have a resolution for the peak, we would want it to be, let's draw closer to Christ. And I feel like, and we were talking about our leadership team last week, that we felt like the youth group grew spiritually as a whole, that you guys really connected more to Christ, that from August all the way through December, okay, that you guys were connected to Christ, that you guys were learning a lot from Christ, that you were worshiping Christ more, whether it's through music or just hearing stories and seeing how God is moving in your life. And that's exactly what we want for this year. And so, as we know, the biggest resolution that all of America is about every single year is losing weight, shedding the pounds, okay, taking off the pounds and those kind of things. It seems like every year, right? You go to the YMCA, or if you're a member at a gym or something like that, like January to February, like there's no treadmills, there's no ellipticals, there's no bikes, okay? All the weight sets are taken up because everybody wants to get buff, okay, and all that kind of good stuff. And then by the time February comes, like 75% of them are just, they're available. People kind of dropped off and those kind of things. But we don't want that for you spiritually. We want you to be able to say that whatever God has laid on your heart spiritually, that you stick with it. That you don't just go through the motions, because if you just go through the motions, okay, those things are going to eventually just fall off, okay? And not only are you going to lose what God wanted to do in you, you might also lose things that were already obtained by you. Maybe there was something that you feel like you're just really growing at, okay? Maybe it's prayer, or maybe it's Bible reading, or maybe it's Bible memorization, okay? But if you don't stay connected to Christ, okay, this year, not only will you not obtain the things that God wants for you this year, you also may lose some of the things that He's already done in your life, okay? So make sure, okay, this year, let's do better than we did last year in each of our lives, okay? Let's make sure that we resolve those things. We continue to go after Christ and continue to seek out where it is that He wants us to work on. And so I want to change our mentality a little bit. Instead of taking off pounds and stuff like that, I want to start this year as far as putting something on. Okay, I want us to think about Under Armour. Okay, as you see, I got my shirt on. My good friend Aiden let me borrow his turtleneck that's about to hurt me. But Under Armour. Okay, raise your hand if you really like Under Armour. Like you own an Under Armour shirt, jacket. Okay, you like the name brand Under Armour. Okay. So as you know, Travis kind of already kind of talked about it. Okay, what is their kind of slogan? Protect what? Protect this house. Okay, so we're all about in this particular series, okay, Ephesians 6, okay, verses 10 through 20. We're talking about protecting your house, okay, protecting yourself. Not just protecting yourself just to protect yourself, but to protect yourself for a greater cause and understanding what that is all about. Now, I love Under Armour, okay? Like, Under Armour, like, it's comfortable, okay? There's not been a shirt that I haven't liked or anything that I bought Under Armour that I didn't like, okay? Like, for those of you who came to PKO, like, I bought this, like, really colorful band, okay? Raise your hand if you remember that, okay? Yeah, and I had it's really colorful and girly, yeah. But anyway, even that was comfortable, right? I mean, it's awesome. Now, I can't stand to buy it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand to buy it, okay? When socks cost $14, that's a problem. Like, that's why I got socks since I've had, in 8th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wear the same socks since 8th grade. Some of y'all are like, ooh, that's ridiculous. Okay, but, I mean, socks are like $14, okay? T-shirts, okay? When I say T-shirts, I don't mean collared shirts, okay? Do y'all know how much a T-shirt costs? Like the cheapest one that you can buy. Like $25, okay? Like $25 for a T-shirt, you know what I mean? I mean, crazy stuff. Now, like a hoodie, okay? Y'all know like the cheapest hoodie you can buy? It's like $50. Yeah, it's like $50 for, so my birthday, okay? All right, my birthday is February the 5th, okay? Like a month from today, if you would like to give me some Under Armour, I would like to take it, okay? Because I'm not going to go buy it, but if you'd like to buy it for me, that'd be great, okay? Just throwing that out there. So if you'd like to do that, that'd be awesome. Okay, but what we want in this series is we want to equip you to take on a world that is out to grab you. We want you to be under armor. We want you to be equipped to take on the world that is going and that is trying every single day to eat you up. I mean, the world is trying to destroy you. The world is trying to kill you. The world is trying to take away everything that you have in order for it or for them to claim it. The world is out for you. And you must protect yourself. Now, over the last couple months, I've been attacked by the world twice. Attacked. Okay? First, most recent, was my email. Okay? Some of my friends and my family members received an email from me from bjalmer@yahoo.com that said that I was in Turkey, the country. Okay? Turkey. I don't even know where Turkey is on the map. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know where that is. Okay, it's okay. I don't really want to learn right now. Thank you. But they got an email saying that I was in Turkey, right? And that in order for me to get back to my family, then I needed people to wire some money to a bank in the amount of $2,900. Okay, so there was this one morning, okay, we had an elders meeting up here. I remember it like it was yesterday, okay? I had an elders meeting at 6 a.m. I woke up at 5, getting ready and all that kind of stuff. And I had already had a text message from one of my friends. Hey, man, you okay? And I'm like, a little tired, but yeah, good. And he said, do I need to come get you? I said, nah, I got a ride. I'm good, man. Like, what's going on? He's like, are you not in Turkey? I said, nah, I ate turkey yesterday, but like, I'm not like in Turkey. He was like, dude, your email says that you got kidnapped and you're in Turkey. I said, really? Well, 15 text messages later, and people just text me back after, and here I am, I'm getting attacked. So I go on, and usually, when you get hacked, okay, all you got to do is just change your password, right? You just go in there, change your password, everything's cool. Well, I go on there, and guess what? Every single last one of my contacts gone. Now, I want you to understand something. I've had the email address since I was 15 years old, which means that I had somewhere in the ballpark of about 5,000 emails, okay? 5,000 people from over the course of my life, from work and personal friends, okay, different people like that, all gone. So, some of you guys remember, so I don't want to go into all that story, but, I got attacked, okay? Second story, okay? A real life story, okay? I'm not, this is not a joke, okay? Christina can testify to this, okay? So, Christina has small group on Tuesday night. And me and my son Bennett, okay, 2 years old Bennett, okay? It was about 9:30 at night. And I was watching TV, and I go and I get in the shower and those kind of things. Christina was getting ready to come home and those kind of things. And while I was in the shower, I saw the shower wall and I heard the shower wall go boom, boom, boom. I said, man, what was that? I mean, it sounded like kind of like a mini bomb, or something like that. I mean, it was kind of, it shook the whole shower. And I was like, okay, kind of weird. All right, but then it stopped, okay. About 2 minutes later, felt it again. Boom, 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 and I saw the walls shake. I said, oh, gosh, what is this? So I go and get out of the shower, okay. Well, I go and put some shorts on, shirt, and that kind of stuff, and all that. And I go and I put my workout stuff on my recliner. If you've been in my house, I have to go kind of past the kitchen to get to the living room where the recliner is, right? And so I go in there, and as I was walking there, I felt the house move this time. And it was, and I was like, hold on, man, something ain't right. Something ain't right. So I was like, that's coming from the garage. So I go. I opened the garage real fast, like I was just going to scare him, you know what I mean? Like, boo, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I opened the garage, and the garage is pitch black dark. And I'm like, and then I heard it again, and I saw my garage door going like this. And then I heard this loud man, and I couldn't tell what he was saying. He was like, and I was like, I'm about to die today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared, And then I heard this, and then I heard it sounded like a child, but eventually I found out it was a girl. And I shut the door, okay? So I get on my cell phone, I call 911. I said, I don't know, but I think somebody's trying to break in my house. Well, how do you know that, sir? Well, my garage door is almost open because they are like yanking on it. Okay, well, get in the house and see if you can see somebody. I said, well, before I do that, sir, I'm going through the kitchen. I got this huge butcher knife, okay? If I have to stab him, I'm stabbing him. I mean, his life's over. It's done, okay? Through. I'm sorry, okay? I'll do time, whatever I got to do. But I don't have a gun, sir, but I do have a big knife in my hand, just I'll let you know. So he says, all right, that's cool. I said, yeah, I know it's cool, I know, you're right, that's right, it's exactly right, it's cool. So then I go, right? I go into my front door. My front door's got this rectangle thing. And I see, he says, tell me what you see. I said, I see a tire. He's like, okay, can you tell like what kind of car it is? I was like, nope, I can't see anything but a tire. And he said, can you go somewhere else? And I was like, I remember the guest bathroom has a window in it. We got blinds and stuff like that. I said, yeah, so I'll go in there, right? And I look and I see this girl. And I said, yeah, man, I see a girl. And I said, oh, there's a big old dude, 6'6", 325 pounds. I mean, he was huge, you know what I mean? And I kept hearing my garage, and Bennett was asleep the whole time. And and so finally they get back in the truck. It was like a 1970 baby blue old Ford truck. He starts it up, and I said, y'all, he's coming. He's about to leave, okay? He was pulling out. I said, USC tag on the front. It had to be USC fans, right? Okay, them South Carolina stupid fans, like they're the ones robbing people all the time. And so, go Tigers. So they pull out, and I said, listen, no lights. They have no headlights on. And as soon as they pull out of my driveway, you know what happens? Woo! I said, ha, 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 gotcha. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I was just like, all right, yeah, somebody fight. Somebody shoot somebody. I was like, yeah, I bring my knife out there. You know what I mean? I was excited. I was jacked. You know what I mean? And anyway, so I know what it's like to be attacked, okay? And, I was debating on not telling my wife, okay, when she got home, but I had to tell her. I got to tell her everything. And I looked at her, she looked at me, she said, what's wrong with you? I said, I hadn't even said anything. She said, yeah, I know, but I can tell there's something wrong with you. And I said, just go check my missed calls. She goes over there, she says, 911? I said, mm-hmm. She said, who died? I said, nobody died. I said, look, honey, I'm smiling, And anyway, that night she didn't sleep, and that's the reason why I don't tell her things, because she gets nervous, okay? Even though, she's got Big Bad Ben in the house, I'll take care of her, you know what I mean? Okay, but anyway, but I know what it's like to be attacked. And listen, I do not want you to be attacked. And let me just tell you something. There's someone out there that's a whole lot bigger and a whole lot stronger than this 6'6", 325-pound dude and this Nigeria guy who's trying to take a bunch of people's money. There's somebody more powerful than that. And so if I'm passionate about taking care of my family, how much more passionate do you think I am in protecting my Lord's name? In protecting my character, not my reputation, but my character, like who I truly am. If I'm going to do that for my family, if I'm going to protect my family in that way, then shouldn't I protect myself and, more importantly, my real dad, my father? Shouldn't I be even more eager and passionate to protect his name? And I think the answer, obviously, to that is yes. I should want to take care of his name. I should want to care for my character and who I am. And so in this series, we're going to talk about how you protect yourself. Let me go ahead and throw this out there. If you do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ, a real, growing, passionate love for Jesus, this will not help you. Doing these different things that you're going to learn over the next 8 weeks, the next 2 months, will not help you if you do not have a relationship with the Lord. Now, I'm not about to go and preach the gospel every single week, but I do want to say this, that there is an enemy out there. And we're going to talk about who that enemy is. There's an enemy out there that wants to grab you. He wants to take your life. He wants to steal, kill, and destroy it. He doesn't want to just mess it up a little bit. He doesn't want to just kind of see how bad you can get hurt. He wants to destroy you. And if you're not a follower of Christ, okay, either he is your enemy or you're God's enemy. That's where we all fall. You're either an enemy to Satan or you're an enemy for Satan. That's where you are. There's no in between. There's no straddling the fence. Okay, there's no gray area. It's either you are this or you are this. And so, I'm going to give you an opportunity at the end for anybody who needs to have a real relationship with the Lord, to go from being an enemy of God to a child of God. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that. It's not going to be this grandiose thing. I'm not going to draw it out. You know if you have a relationship with the Lord or not. You know that. And if you do, then these next 8 weeks is how can you be under the armor? Under the armor of the enemy. Let me just tell you something about this war, because you are in a war. We're in a war. There's something about this war. The very first thing is this. The war does not end on this side of heaven. It's always going to be. If you're here on earth, there's a war. I don't care if you're 12, 20, or 82. It doesn't matter. If you're still here, you're still in a war that Satan is trying to crush you, kill you, destroy you. Because if he gets you, he gets other people. For some of you, it's a whole lot of other people. Because if he can just get you, if he can just get me, if he can just get Jeff, if he can just get Perry Noble or any other pastor, okay? If he can get us, he's going to get a lot of people. So it's all for all of us. We're all in this war. Every single one of us. And we need to protect ourselves from that. The second thing you need to understand is that it is possible to stay strong in the war. You don't have to be weak. It is possible to stay strong in the war. Read along with me. Ephesians 6:10 tells us this. It says this. It says a final word. This is Paul saying, this is the final thing I'm saying in this whole entire book. This is the final thing I'm going to tell you. A final word. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. What power? The answer to that is his power. The Holy Spirit. If you have given your life to Christ, then you have the power of Christ living in you, called the Holy Spirit. And you need to understand that this is strong power, friends. This isn't some little thing that's going to help you here and there, okay, and be kind of wishy-washy. And this ain't anything. This is a little wimpy little power. Listen, this is major power. And so if you have him in your life and that he lives and he dwells, then that power is going to be manifested through the Spirit. So what do we need to do with this power? Here's the first fill in the blank. Fill it in with me. Realize the power that the Spirit has. You need to realize the power that the Spirit has. In order to stay strong, you must use his power. Fighting spiritual battles without his Spirit is stupid and impossible. It's impossible to fight spiritual battles without his Spirit. You will go down every single time. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You can't do it on your own. Why? Because it's a spiritual battle. And spiritual battles are a whole lot worse than anything, any kind of battle, or any kind of war, any kind of struggle that you will ever hear about or experience in your lifetime. And so you must have the Spirit in order to be strong in the battle. So, I don't want you to be stupid. I don't want you to go into this thing ill-equipped. And so for the next 8 weeks, we're gonna talk about, how do I stay strong in this battle? What do I need to do? How do I need to protect myself? Because I'm in a war. I'm in a war that is out to kill me and to destroy me. So with that, let's talk about who the enemy is. And then let's talk about the equipment that we're going to be talking about over the next 7 weeks. The equipment that we're going to need for the enemy. Okay? So, who's the enemy? Great question. It's right here in verse 12. Read along with me. It says, "For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of this unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places." So, we must understand, it tells us in this verse right up front, that our enemy is not flesh and blood enemies. Your enemy is not your friends. Your enemy is not your mom. Your enemy is not your dad. Your enemy is not your siblings. Your enemy is not your dog that you tried to kill because you got mad. Poor Fido. Your enemy is not your boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, maybe so. Maybe it is kind of. Maybe it kind of is. Nah, I'm just joking. Okay, your enemy. Okay, listen to me, friends. Your enemy is someone that you cannot see. That's the enemy. Now, I don't know where you were. You may not have been born when this happened. It's kind of hard for me to understand that because you guys are younger than me. But when 9/11 happened, okay, if you were born before 2001, I don't know how old you were or if you knew where you were at that time when you found out that 9/11 happened. Bad day. Horrible day. Terrible. One of the worst of all time. I remember I was in 11th grade. I was in English class when I found out. I think it was around 3rd block, something like that. Terrible. And we go to war, right? We go to war. There have been people that have been gone, 3 or 4 times, a year at a time, year and a half at a time. I mean, they've been over there, Afghanistan, Iraq, okay? And they're trying to find the enemy, right? Now, let me ask you a question. Was the enemy the ones who were on the planes? Nah, that wasn't the enemy. Well, yeah, Ben, that's the enemy. Yeah, but not really. They were just flying the planes. Were the enemies the ones outside of the compound where the real enemy was? Yep. Nope. No, it wasn't. It's not the enemy. The enemy was who? Saddam Hussein. Osama bin Laden. Okay? They're both dead. I watched a documentary on it with SEAL Team 6. I saw the guy, right? Okay, maybe you've seen it. The guy that actually shot Osama bin Laden in the face. I mean, they were the ones you didn't see until what? They were dead, until they were captured. They were the enemies, right? We were trying to get to them. We were trying to get past all these little bitty boys that thought they were the big bad and all that. We showed them that we could just knock them upside the head with a gun, okay? But we had to do some major stuff to Saddam Hussein and to Osama bin Laden. I mean, those were bad dudes. And just as they were the ones that were the enemies in that particular situation, the enemies are not the people that you see. There's something more. There's something bigger than what you see. And so in this verse, it tells us who the enemies are, okay? And you see it right here in the outline. Here are the enemies. Satan, that's the enemy. That's the ultimate enemy right there. But Satan also has people on his side, right? Evil rulers and authorities, mighty powers, evil spirits. And so when we want to defeat the enemies, if we don't, here's kind of a little equation for you. No spirit equals no success. If you don't have the Spirit, you will not be successful. And so the Spirit empowers us and tells us and instructs us. Okay? The Spirit, okay, worked through the people that wrote the Bible, like Paul, who wrote this out and tells us, hey, here are some things that you got to make sure that you have in the battle. So we're going to inspect the equipment that are part of being in a war. And see, a lot of people, when they think about war, they try to run from it. They try to hide. They try to act like it's not there. They try to act like it's not really that big of a deal. But the war is crazy. The war will kill you. If you're not equipped, you will go down. And not just easy. You'll go down hard. Real hard. And it will hurt. Not for a little while, for a long while. And so when we talk about the armor, we have to take all these things seriously. And I love how he takes the armor, like the real armor, okay, of a warrior, and he puts what it means spiritually. And we're going to talk about this, and we're just going to kind of run over these real quickly tonight. But the armor is not intended for ordinary people to run from. The armor is there to do what? To protect us when we go into the battle. When we step into a world that does not love God, hates Jesus, doesn't care anything about Jesus, Christianity, religion, whatever they want to call it. And here we are. We've stepped into the arena of the war. And they're going to do everything they possibly can to kill anything and anybody that has to do with Jesus. So we got to inspect our equipment. So over the next 6 weeks here, you got 6 weeks here, and then we're going to talk about something else. Okay, so this is going to be really, really fast. Okay, so get your outlines out. Here's the equipment that we need to inspect when we come into this war. The first one, the belt of truth. The belt of truth. This is verse 14. Next week, this is next week. We're going to talk about honesty, telling the truth. Integrity, telling the truth when people aren't watching you. That's the difference between honesty and integrity. There's a big difference there, and we're going to talk about it. Number 2, the breastplate of righteousness. Some of y'all don't even know how to spell righteousness or even know what it means. Okay, so we're going to talk about what does it mean to be righteous? Okay, what is righteousness? Number 3, shoes of peace. There's 2 levels here. There's peace with Him, and then there's peace with others. I'm going to add a third one in there. Does He have peace with us? Some of us in here may think you have peace with God. But He's like, no, I don't have peace with you. You might think you have peace with me because you do all these check-off things, yeah, and you're good at doing, going to church and doing all these things, but you don't have any peace with me. And you sure don't have any peace with others. Because if you're a follower of Christ, you need to be a person of peace. Romans 12:18. You might want to write that verse down. That's going to be a big one that day. Romans 12:18. It says, as for you, live at peace with all men. So you can't control what everybody else does, but hey, you live at peace with all men. If at all possible, live at peace with all men. Number 4, shield of faith. Shield of faith. There's a big difference between belief and faith. Sort of, kind of, in a way similar, but a huge difference when it comes to spiritually. So we're going to talk about that, the shield of faith. Number 5, the helmet of salvation. How you can be secure in your salvation. And number 6, the sword of the Spirit. Okay, this is the only offensive weapon. Sorry, that's not coming up there. Okay, so let me go through them again, make sure you got them. Belt of truth, breastplate of righteousness, shoes of peace, shield of faith, helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. The sword of the Spirit is the only offensive weapon. And that week we're going to talk about what that offensive weapon is. Now normally you would stop right there. In the series, it's a great spot to end the series on. The sword of the Spirit, it's a great one to end on. But I'm going to take it a little bit more. Verses 18, 19, 20. And I'm going to talk about the energy that all of this is filtered through. And that energy is prayer. You know, I think that us being so ADD and kind of our attention spans don't go too far. Travis did a prayer time up here. If he would have went over 5, 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes of praying, y'all been done left. But hey, y'all, we need to learn how to pray. Like to talk to God. Like that's our direct line to Him. And we're going to talk about the importance of prayer and how you need to pray and how you need to continuously pray. And so we're going to talk about that in the very last week. Oh yeah, there's one more verse that I think that all of us need to understand. That's Ephesians 6, verse 11. It says, put on all, underline all, circle it, star it, make it beautiful. Put on all of God's armor so that you'll be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. If you want to be able to defeat the devil, defeat Satan, defeat the mighty powers, defeat the evil spirits, if you want to defeat all of it, then guess what you got to do? You got to put all of it on. Well, you know what? Righteousness and everything, I don't think I really need that. It's not really very, very important. It's the breastplate and everything. I think I'm pretty fast. I can turn my shoulder. I'll be all right. Ben, I don't need shoes. I'm good barefoot. Okay? Won't be any peace in your life. It's going to be hard. You need to put on all of God's armor. So as followers, we're at war with Satan. As unfollowers, you're at war with God. And that's something we need to fix. So this is going to be really, 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 really quick, okay? And let me tell you how I know that God can work. Today, I get a text message from a friend. And this friend told me that they said a prayer when they were a kid. They've been baptized. They've been going to church for a long time. but that the Lord didn't have their life. I mean, this is someone I look and I say, whoa, really? And so, when they text me, I didn't preach a message to them this morning. I know that I don't have to drag this whole thing out in order for somebody to understand I'm an enemy of God. I don't love God. I don't want to serve Him. I don't want to give Him my life. And my prayer is, Lord, open their heart. Lord, speak, because you don't need me. You can do it all by yourself, Lord, because you're God, and you can do that. And so, when we get to this point right now, it's going to be really quick. If you need Jesus, it's not about raising your hand, even though I want you to raise your hand because I want to talk to you. It's not about saying a little prayer. Yeah, I'm going to get you to say a prayer, but it's not about that. None of that stuff matters if you don't follow Him. And so, we're going to fix that in a minute. Before you followers, when going into this war, you got to know His tactics, and you got to know your trip-ups. And if you know His tactics and where you trip up the most, then you'll be much more likely to triumph in victory. You got to know His tactics, and you got to know your trip-ups. If you know those two, then you'll triumph. You will win. And so what I want to do as the band comes up, is I want everybody to bow your head. Close your eyes. Up in the booth, if you can get the lights low, just low enough to where I can see a little bit. I'm not going to draw this out, guys. I know I don't need to. I know that the Lord can work anywhere but the peak. But listen, if you don't have a relationship with Jesus, and you feel Him calling you into His family, on the count of 3, I just want you to raise your hand. If you raise your hand, I'm going to tell you to keep it up so I can at least look and see what jacket you got on or what shirt color so I can come and talk to you. And I'll come find you. Okay? So on the count of 3, I want you to go ahead and raise your hand, okay? 1, 2, 3. Nobody looking around? Hands raised if you need to. Nobody looking around? I see that hand. You can put it down. Come on. Okay, you can put your hand down. Dear Jesus, I thank you so much that you spoke. You didn't even give a message on salvation, even though I love to give those messages. God, you spoke. For the rest, as we go through this war, Jesus, I pray that we would put on every piece of your armor. And to say, even though we are going through the battle right now, that for some of these students it's thick, it's real, that when they leave here they're going to go into a war zone, they know it, whether it's at their house or at a friend's house or over the internet, and there's some fighting going on between friends. God, there's a war out there. And so, Lord, I pray that these students would get in your word, first of all, and read Ephesians 6, 10 to 20. And let them realize that they're not fighting against flesh and blood, but they're fighting against Satan, against evil rulers and people they can't see, against mighty forces that they can't see, against evil spirits that they cannot see. And if they want to triumph, they got to put on every single piece of armor. And so, Lord, I pray that you would encourage them here, that you would empower them here in this room, and that you would be with them as they leave and as they fight. I pray that they fight well. God, I thank you in advance for what you're going to do in this series. God, I know that you're going to work in huge ways. And so, God, whatever we go through, I pray that we would just say it as well. That it's okay, Lord. I realize that I'm not home. I realize I'm in a foreign land. I realize it's going to be hard. I realize there's going to be triumphs. And there's going to be troubles. I know that. I know that life hurts. So, Lord, I just pray that you would encourage them now. Help them worship you now. Help them surrender to you now. So that when they go out, they'll be equipped for every good work that you have for them. So, Lord, as we worship, pray, God, that you speak in a way that only you can speak. And God, we love you. We thank you for what you've done and what you're going to continue to do tonight. In Jesus' name, and all God's people said,